Today I'm sharing the second video in a series that I'm doing with Granny, a Q&A with Granny. So this is the second episode, second video. If you missed the first one, I'll put that link in the description below and you can go hear what she had to say in that video. And thank you to everyone that asked so many great questions. So we'll start off with this first one today, Granny. Did you have a favorite dress or outfit when you were young?
Well, when I was little, Mama made us dresses, and I just loved them, the ones she made.
As you got older and you got married, you made your dresses, made a lot of our clothes.
Some,
yeah. You have some favorite from them that you remember that you really liked?
Yeah, I do. Several of them had turned out good, better than others.
Do the MRIs that you have to have for your cancer checkups, do they bother you to get to where you can't breathe when they put you in that big machine or anything?
No, they're for me, they're not that hard to do.
They give you some earplugs and some...
Yeah, they gave me earplugs.
Yeah. You have advice for anybody that wants to start crocheting? Since you're the crochet queen?
I'm not the queen. People can beat me all over the country. Buy you a book if you don't know how. And the most common needle, I think, to use, and what I started out with, was a size H.
H?
Crochet needle. It's the most, I've read somewhere that it's the most commonly used. But for smaller objects or larger objects, you can change to a smaller needle or a big one.
Mm-hmm. You have a favorite season, favorite time of the year?
I guess spring is my favorite. Everything comes back to life and the flowers bloom out.
Mm-hmm. The chance of snow's gone. As much as I like snow, Granny does not like snow. So
well, it's beautiful when it falls, but I never could drive in it. Mm-hmm. That's why I didn't like it.
Do you have a favorite holiday?
That would be Christmas and Easter.
What about a favorite gospel song?
Precious Memories, I think, is my favorite.
Mm-hmm. You like Hand in Hand with Jesus too, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Or you like a lot of them, though. That's not fair to say. You like a lot. You have a favorite Bible verse?
John 3:16.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. What about a favorite Bible story?
Well, the story of Jesus' birth, is taught to the children, mm-hmm. and it's a beautiful, beautiful story.
Mm-hmm. Who taught you to drive back when you first learned how to drive?
Actually, I sort of taught myself. I had one friend that helped me. She said, just get out there in the car and drive up the driveway and come back. And she sort of helped me.
And this was after you were married or when you were still at home?
I left Steve upstairs in his baby bed asleep. And we had an automatic car. I just couldn't drive a straight shift. And I drove up the driveway and come back. And then after that, I got my driver's permit. I was scared to learn how to drive because I was in a head-on collision with my sister and her family in Ohio, and I was scared to learn how to drive. So I had to overcome that finally. My sister never did learn how to drive. So, she never would.
And that was why? Because she was scared because of the wreck, too?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was one of the questions. Let's see. Something you did or overcome that you were proud of. So I guess that's it. You overcome your fear of driving to drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And someone asked if you drove a stick or an automatic, and you said automatic. You couldn't drive a stick.
Yeah.
Didn't you tell me that Daddy that's what he had, and he had to sell it and get an automatic so you could drive?
Yeah, he tried to teach me on the
straight shift,
and I just couldn't learn it. And he got an automatic car.
What was your best Christmas gift you got as a child when you were a child?
I got a bride doll. I showed it. It's one of my little treasures I've kept.
Yeah, we have a video about Granny's treasures. I'll link to that in the description below in case you missed it. And you can see that doll and some other things she shares. What about when, as an adult, you have a favorite Christmas present?
I just loved all the presents I got. I don't really have a favorite, I don't think.
I think you especially like it when you get pictures of your grandkids or great grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
You have a favorite flower?
I think jonquil is my favorite. It's about the first one that blooms in the spring.
So a lot of people call those daffodils or Easter
Daffodils,
lilies or Easter flowers, but
Yeah,
jonquils,
daffodils.
they are pretty. You have any advice for Corey and Katie as far as raising their boys?
Just don't never give up on them. Always teach them to be good.
When you were a child, did you have any favorite indoor games? Thinking about playing when maybe it was snowing or raining. Did you read books? Did you?
I read books
Yeah.
when I went to school. I was always reading some book.
Mm-hmm.
Mama would call me to come to supper, and I couldn't quit reading. She'd get aggravated at me.
And what about outdoor games? What'd you like?
I couldn't take sports in school because I had rheumatic fever, so I wasn't.
Wasn't very athletic.
No, I wasn't athletic at all. I wasn't allowed, to take sports.
What about when you were real young outside? Did y'all build playhouses or stores or play church or?
We had playhouses in the woods.
What's your favorite brand of yarn?
Red Heart and Mainstays. Red Heart has more colors, and Mainstays is acrylic yarn. It holds its shape better when you're making a sweater or a jacket.
They're both on the cheaper side of the yarns too.
Mainstays is cheaper than Red Heart, but I like them both.
Is there a place you wish you could visit now, or maybe when you were younger, a place you always wanted to visit but didn't get to?
Well, I always thought I wanted to go to Switzerland when I was young. In the 8th grade, I was telling everybody when I got married I was going to Switzerland on my honeymoon. But now I'd rather stay home than to go anywhere. I loved being in the mountains.
Yeah. What's a funniest memory from your childhood, growing up years? You got a funny memory?
Well, I was just young. I was grown, but I was young, and I never had cooked much, and I had this recipe to make a pound cake, but you put it in a cold oven. And all we had was a wood stove, and I put it in the wood stove, and it run out all over the oven.
Oh, no.
And Mom and Daddy laughed and laughed
it...
and laughed. They thought it was so funny.
Oh, goodness.
What was left in the pan was good, but we lost a lot of it.
It's in the oven.
Then had to clean the oven.
Oh, gosh. So when's your birthday? When were you born?
March the 6th, 1940.
So that makes you how old right now?
Right now I'm 84.
84. Did you ever work outside the home?
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to tell some of the stuff that you did? Some of the various jobs after you was married?
Every time I need some money, I'd go get me another job. I mean, it was hard to... It wasn't hard as it is now to get by, but we was married and paying rent. Then when we had the kids...
You worked in a dress factory? And
I worked different places. If I needed some money, I'd go hunt me a job.
How was it to raise two boys and a girl?
Well, the boys wasn't as much trouble as
the girl, me?
Well,
As the
it's just
girl.
harder to raise girls. Somebody else told me that. But now the boys they kept us busy playing Little League, both of them, for years.
Yeah, play ball, and
I finally learned a little bit about baseball because
you had to.
I had to.
Pap coached them too, so you
Yeah.
had to be there to help with the concessions or whatever
Well,
was going on.
I wasn't much help with the concessions, except I'd make cupcakes for them to sell. But
Yeah.
I went to watch all the kids and see that they didn't get hurt. Some people just turned their little bitty kids loose, and I couldn't watch the ball game for watching
the little kids. Yeah. What is there a food that you do not like something you just won't eat?
Well, some foods I've never eaten anyway, but I never did like oysters. Never liked them.
And Daddy did, and I do. I don't know. Paul don't. I don't think, and
No.
I don't know about Steve. I doubt he does either. Do you have a favorite vegetable?
Cucumbers are my favorite.
See, that surprises me. I thought you'd say green beans.
No, I love green beans too, but it took me a long time to learn how to cook them.
Yeah.
And after I learned how, it was a lot better. But
You like
I
cucumbers,
like
huh?
cucumbers.
Just the fresh, straight
fresh,
from the garden.
Straight from the garden.
Yeah. What about favorite meat? You got a favorite meat?
I like bacon and sausage more than any of the other.
Got a favorite dessert?
Well, when I was growing up, Mama would make the best blackberry cobblers. I like them awful good.
You like your holy smoke cake you make?
Yeah, I like that.
We have a video of Granny making that I can link to. I'll put that in the description too. That's a good one. I like your coconut cakes and your cakes that you pour chocolate over.
Yeah, the yellow cake mix and the chocolate icing is one of my favorites.
And just recently you've been eating this summer, and the summer's the only time you really make it. It's your cake with the strawberries and the white cooked icing.
Yeah. Make your white cake with the 7-minute frosting and cover it up with fresh strawberries, and it's a beautiful cake and just as delicious too.
Didn't we do a video on that? Seems like.
I don't think we did, but we should have.
Maybe we did. If we did, I'll put that in the
I've made
description.
some cakes that were so beautiful.
Yeah, the white and the red
White
really
and
goes
covered with the
yeah,
red
goes
strawberries.
pretty. And it's tasty too.
It's very good.
How do you keep your hair so nice? Do you go to the beauty salon?
I just owe it all to my beautician. She's fixed my hair for 33 years. Every which way I wanted to wear it, she'd do it. And
Her name is Paula Fox. She's good. She's
She's-
like a
she's-
member of the family.
she's very, very good
Yeah.
at cutting hair
Yeah.
and putting in permanents.
After 33 years, she's like a member of the family, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a cell phone?
Yeah.
So some people might be surprised about that. Why do you have a cell phone?
Well, my land phone got so it didn't work good, and they wouldn't come and fix it. I just got tired of it.
And we discovered we could get you a little cell phone that's easy to use, and it would be much cheaper than what you were paying for the landline that wouldn't work. And it's been giving you trouble for way since Daddy died, and he's been gone almost 10 years now, 8 years. So far you've liked the little cell phone, hadn't you? Yeah.
Paul fixed it for me. Paul can do all this stuff I can't do. And when you call me, it shows up on my little phone that
Says Tipper.
Tipper Presley is calling.
Yeah.
And he put all the people that call me, put their numbers in there.
That way you
Their
know.
name.
Yeah, so you'd know when it pops up.
So now I know.
So on my phone, when you call me, you know what it says?
What
Pap and Granny.
does
It
it?
still says Pap. Yeah, Pap and Granny. Yeah. Okay, what's a memory that makes you smile?
All the funny things my kids would do when they was little.
when Paul was, of course, I can't remember Steve because he's older than me, but I remember when Paul was real little, that was when Fonzie, when Happy Days was real popular in the Fonz, and he'd say, hey, and he had a little shirt, didn't he?
Had a Fonzie shirt.
He had a Fonzie shirt, yeah, and we get him to do that.
Had a little bitty guitar.
A little bitty guitar, yeah. Let's see, we answered that one. Oh, here's a good one. Who's your favorite tennis player?
My son Paul. I like to watch tennis on TV, and Djokovic and Nadal are my favorites on TV. But I like my son Paul. He's my favorite tennis player.
So if that seems strange that Granny would know about tennis, it's because Paul is just plumb foolish about tennis. He's been playing tennis for years.
He told me he's kind of been on a winning streak.
Yeah.
He's played it. He's won every game he's played for about 5 weeks.
Wow, that's good.
But I told him, I said, you're going to have to slow down or you're going to come home a cripple from overworking your knees.
He goes and plays tournaments and all kinds of things. So that's how Granny knows. I know nothing about tennis, but Granny knows what she's picked up from Paul. Okay, let's see. I guess we'll end on this one. If you weren't a homemaker or mom, what could you imagine yourself doing? Like if you had never got married or had kids, could you imagine yourself doing some kind of career?
No, I'd just been an old maid. Actually, I was an old maid when I got married.
How old was you when you got married?
24.
And that was an old maid back then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I thought it was. I don't know. Because most girls get married 14 or 15 or 16.
in those days, yeah. Yeah.
Mama said she got married when she was 16, and she felt like she'd been married all of her
life, I guess so.
She didn't want me to get married young, so she helped hold me back, I guess.
Well, she held you back for the right one, didn't she?
Yeah.
Well, I hope you enjoyed hearing Granny answer these questions. Be on the lookout, and there's still several pages of questions to go, and we'll get Granny to answer some more for us.